There's no agenda here. There's no reverse racism, nothing like that. So white folks, you can feel comfortable watching this movie. It doesn't bash you.
And here's the review.
All right, y'all, as you can see, got the hoodie on. You know what that means. I didn't shave this dome of mine. I've been lazy. So it is what it is. I'm not trying to look thugged out. Damn it, I just didn't shave my head. So yo, I'm here today to talk to you about a film that I've been wanting to see for the past 3 weeks now. All right, it's dropped early in the month. And of course, a movie like this, they're not going to release it in a lot of cinemas. No, they say that for the magical Negroes. All right, yeah, the powers that be feel like the magical Negroes would make more money than a movie like the Outlaw Posse. Before I get into this review, I gotta give flowers to the man, the myth, and the legend, MVP himself, Mario Van Peebles, who I feel like is very underrated, very underappreciated. Okay, this man has done so much for the culture as far as cinema goes. All right, New Jack City, Posse, Panther. All right, you can say, well, New Jack City is a gangster film that highlights drugs. No. If you really watch New Jack City, that's actually an anti-drug movie. It spoke against drugs. And even the main villain, Nino, got his in the end. Spoiler. All right? It was an anti-drug film that spoke against drugs and what drugs did to the community and how we can fix the situation. They didn't glorify shit. Wesley Snipes just happened to play that role so good where Nino became just a likable character. Okay, Posse is the first Western I've ever watched. All right, my pops watched all the Clint Eastwood joints and everything, and I never had interest in that. Posse was the first Western I ever watched. Love that movie. Panther taught me about the Black Panther Party. When you talk about some of the prominent black filmmakers, you think of Spike Lee, you think of John Singleton, you think of most recently Ryan Coogler, Jordan Peele. But man, you got to put Mario in there. But see, Mario's kind of been out of the spotlight lately because he decided to make his own independent films the way he wants to make it and not depend on the studio system. Because when you work for a studio, even though you want to tell your black stories, but they put restraints on what you can and cannot do. Mario says, hell with that. I'm going to raise my own money. I'm going to make my own films the way I want to make them. All right. Just like his pops, Melvin was a trendsetter. Melvin Van Peebles' Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song showed black people the way we've never been seen before. All right. We were good looking, sexual, badass, didn't take no shit. First time you ever see a nigga kill a cop on screen. Kicked off the blaxploitation genre, even though that's not what he wanted, but still it set a trend for modern black cinema. Melvin created that. Mario continued that. And now we have this film right here, The Outlaw Posse. I watched it on Amazon last night. I had to rent it. Most likely I'm gonna buy it because I enjoyed this film. Okay, this film especially has messages in it, but Mario does this in his films where he has messages, important messages in his movie, but he doesn't like just shove that shit in your face. It's interwoven into the story. You know what I mean? So it's not just, I'm just sharing a message just to share a message. No, it has to do with what's going on in the film. You know what I'm saying? So unlike, let's say, Endgame, where you had this big ass battle with everybody, and then all of a sudden the girls meet together. Don't worry, she's got help. The fuck was the point of that? You want to throw your agenda in my face? There's no agenda here. There's no agenda here. There's no reverse racism, nothing like that. So white folks, you can feel comfortable watching this movie. It doesn't bash you. It doesn't make you look like you're a demon or nothing like that. No, this film exposes the hypocrisy and the evilness that is the American government, but also shines a light on American unity, because within this posse, it's not just an all-black crew. He's got white people in his crew. He's got Hispanic in his crew. You got the Native Americans, you know what I'm saying, the indigenous.
DC Young flies in this movie too, y'all, so please don't hold that against the film. I love DC, but damn it, he doesn't fit in this movie really, but I digress.
You know what I mean? So you have a whole collective of different cultures and races coming together for the greater cause. So the whole point of this film is, and by the way, this is not a sequel to Posse, which I thought it was because he has the same getup that he did in Posse, but it's just not a sequel to Posse. This is its own thing. Mario's character, the lead, I want to call him Jesse Lee because that was his name in Posse. So he's been kind of just laying low for a minute. You know, he was an outlaw. He was, used to do some bad things, you know what I'm saying? But he's been kind of laying low, doing his thing. And he comes across some information that there's some stolen gold that needs to be retrieved. So he gets his old posse together, and they go to track this gold. While at the same time, this white cowboy with the one hand reminds me of your boy from Into the Dragon. He has his posse together, and they're going to retrieve the gold. So they're both going after this gold, but Angel, the white dude, wants the gold for himself because he feels like, you know, he's owed that to disperse to his crew or whatever so they can do what they do. Mario's goal is to get this gold and for reparations. Keep a little bit ourselves, but give it to those that really need it. So it does shine a light on reparations and why reparations are important. Because it's funny, that word has been thrown around a lot, but you know, even among the black community, we come to the place where we're like, they're not going to give us no reparations. They ain't giving us that shit. And you got some black folks who be like, we don't want reparations. We don't need it. We can pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and get our own. We don't need a handout or nothing like that. He shines a light on how we all need to unite no matter what race, color, or creed you are. So, you know, okay, in the service, this may appear like, okay, here's another one of those, you know, black films that's, you know, demonizes white people, makes black people look like they're saints, they're saviors and all this and that. Nah, this just shows America. This is a Western, but this is really the story about America in an hour and 45 minutes. All right. So there's also a subplot with Mario and his son, played by his real son, Mandela Van Peebles, which I thought was a great touch to the movie. So yeah, it's just about family. It's about this country. It's a heist film. It's a Western. It's got some dope ass shootouts. And I really dug this film. And I know this was made on a shoestring budget because, like I said, he does everything independently. He doesn't have any backing from the studio, so he has to raise his own money. So he can take a shoestring budget and still make it look like a big budget Hollywood film. You know, Mario's a very talented filmmaker. Give this man his flowers. Give this man the credit he deserves. You know, and I forgot to mention, too, he also directed some of my favorite episodes in the Wu-Tang Saga. And I believe he directed some episodes in Raising Kanan. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, got to give this brother his props, his respect, salute. All right, you are an important part of black culture, and you need to be celebrated, my man. So he comes through with this one, and this is dedicated to his pops, Melvin Van Peebles. I know he'd be proud because Melvin was like, he was the man, he was the godfather of this shit. If it wasn't for Melvin Van Peebles, we wouldn't have a New Jack City. We wouldn't have Do the Right Thing. We wouldn't have Hollywood Shuffle. We wouldn't have these important, you know, Malcolm X. We wouldn't have these important black films. So put some respect on his name, and I ain't gonna say it no more. A is what I got for Outlaw Posse. So, okay, I have to answer the question. How does it compare to the 1992 Posse? I gotta say, I have a special place in my heart for that movie just because that was the first Western I ever watched, and at the time, I thought it was the shit. And I still dig the movie, but it plays like, it doesn't feel like a period piece. It feels like a hip-hop movie, but taking place in the Western days. And I think that's kind of the feel he was going for. But where Outlaw Posse, this feels like a period piece. This feels like I'm really watching a Western that belongs with the other Westerns of the Clint Eastwoods, and then even the Fred Williamson, Jim Brown Westerns like Take a Hard Ride and Buck and the Preacher. You know what I mean? It belongs with those. They'll say Posse is kind of his own thing. You could put Posse with, you know, modern black cinema because it's like, you know, it has a hip hop soundtrack. They even speak as if they were speaking in the 90s, you know, with the lingo and everything. So I gotta say, I really love Posse, but I think Outlaw Posse is the better movie. So yeah, A is what I give Outlaw Posse. Mario, you did your thing. You're probably not gonna watch this video, but yo, you did your thing on this joint, man. Proud of you and what you've done for the culture, bro. And that's it, and that's all. Have you guys seen Outlaw Posse? What'd you think about it? It's probably most likely not playing in your theaters, so you can do what I did, man. Yo, spend that $6 because you was gonna spend that money anyway going to see it in the theater. Pay them $6, rent it on Amazon Prime. You're welcome. Or like me, I'm gonna purchase it. I think it's like $14 to buy it, so I'm definitely gonna put that in my collection. All right, so that's it, and that's all. I'm out.